Hey, this is Polar B. I just wanted to make a video today and talk about a couple different things. Actually, I was thinking a lot about therapy, and that was one of my subjects that I wanted to talk about. I know a lot of survivors don't go to therapy, and in fact, I myself, when I first started my healing journey, did not go to therapy for years, in fact. Because I did a lot of my work on my own with books, and I take that back. I did go to a support group, which is different than actual therapy, because you can actually go to a support group and be with a group of people and listen to them talk, and you actually do not have to participate. It's all voluntarily. If you want to participate, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. So it's a little bit different than actual therapy, one-on-one therapy with a therapist or, psychologist or, that. Anyway, just wanted to talk a little bit about my own experiences with therapy, and then just kind of go over a couple of things. With counselors and therapists, they actually can use a lot of different modalities with therapy. They can use art and writing, basic talk therapy, which is what basically a lot of them is. A lot of them actually do body work and memory work, those types of things. They can do role playing, those types of things. So it really depends on what you're comfortable with and what what works for you. And some people try a variety of things. They'll do art therapy with some things. I did some art therapy, like a group art therapy, and I really enjoyed it, actually. It wasn't so focused individually, but it was like a group thing that they did. I decided to actually go to therapy when I kind of got stuck in my own healing process. I had processed a lot of things, memories. I got a lot of my memories thing on my own before I even went to a therapist. So I had a lot of my memories before I even went to that. And some of the things that I had the hardest thing dealing with was why I actually decided to go to a therapist, because I felt like I was stuck and not moving forward anymore. My experiences have not all been great with therapists. The very first therapist that I went to, I looked up actually in a phone book and just picked a therapist, and the only requirement that I had in those days was that it would be a woman, because I knew that there would be no way that I could go to a man and talk about sexual abuse or ritual abuse or anything like that. I really wasn't prepared to talk about any ritual abuse at that point, but talking about the sexual abuse and the abuse from my father and that, I did not want to talk to a man. I didn't think that I could go in and trust a man. I wouldn't feel comfortable at all, so there'd be no point in going. So the only criteria that I had was that it was a woman. Well, my experience was very negative. I was, first of all, scared to death to go to a therapist, because I don't know, I just had some stigma with it or something. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to have to go and lay out my problems to somebody and my issues and talk about intimate things, So I made this appointment with this therapist, and she turned out to be a real quack. So you have to be really careful about who you go to, and you have to find a comfort level. That's one of the things that is most important. But let me tell you a little bit about my experience when I went there. I made the appointment with her, and found out that she actually didn't even work out of an office. She worked out of her home, which is not bad. It's not bad. It really just, it depends on the person. This woman actually was more into, to me, looking back on it, like power trips. I had to wait in a foyer area in her house in the hallway on a hard wooden bench for probably 25-30 minutes. That was even past my appointment. And when she did come out, her dog came out, and her dog would not get off of me. It was like her dog was like constantly, you know, sniffing my crotch and, you know, practically humping my leg, and I had to keep pushing this dog away, and she did nothing to alleviate that or my discomfort or anything. And then we went into this very, very small, cramped office, which was probably had previously been like a child's bedroom or something like that in this house. But she had it so cram-packed with stuff. Stuff was just everywhere. So it was very kind of intimidating. I wasn't even sure where I was going to sit. But she did have a chair, and I noticed that her desk was very, very large in this room, and her chair sat up very, very high. It was like a big high back chair. And my chair that I sat in was very low to the ground, very basic, you know, like a little wooden chair, very uncomfortable. And just me sitting down so low and her sitting directly across from me at this big, massive desk, looking down upon me basically, was very intimidating, and so I wasn't comfortable at all. One of the things that she did, I went there and she said, you know, well, why are you here? And I said, well, because I'm an abuse survivor, and you know, I'm a sexual survivor, and I'm a ritual abuse survivor. And she really didn't even know what ritual abuse was, and I kind of gave her a sanitized version of it in a 1 to 2 sentence statement. And I said, well, the real reason that I'm here is because I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed with feelings and stuff. And you know, she asked me a few questions or whatever, and she told me, she gave me this huge rubber band to put on my wrist, and she said, I want you, when you start to feel a feeling, I want you to take that rubber band and I want you to pull it back as far as you can and let it go. And it will snap your wrist and it will stop you from feeling. And I just went. In my mind, I was saying, you have to be freaking kidding me. Now, I do understand that there is a therapy out there where, you know, to bring you back, to ground you immediately when you're dissociating. That's something that, you know, is used, not quite to that extent. However, she was doing this in order to not feel anything, to cut off all feelings. And I was thinking, oh my God, just get me out of here. Please get me out of here. But anyway, I got out of there, made it through the session. I paid her money, and she said, you know, let's go ahead and make another appointment. So I did that before I left, knowing dang well that I was never going back there again. Besides the dog humping my leg, there was no way in heck, because she just intimidated the hell out of me, and I just didn't feel any comfort level whatsoever. And I thought, man, you are a frickin' quack. Get me out of here. So I went home and I called probably the next day to cancel the appointment, and I said, I'm sorry, but I won't be back. So she, this shows you how much of a quack she actually was. She starts calling me and calling me and calling me and saying, we really need to talk about this, to, you know, we really need to continue your therapy because, you know, we've made so much progress and all of this stuff. And I'm thinking, oh my God, thank God that I had sense enough that I stopped it immediately. One of the things that I said to Lavira that she said to me, imagine how many people actually go to her for years and years and years and is damaged by that kind of therapy. So you have to be really careful sometimes. I'm not saying that all therapists are like that, because they're not. There are some really good therapists out there, but you need to know what you're looking